Shout out to everybody. We back. My bad. Had a call, but let's listen to some of what Hannity is saying. So there's some information that came out earlier. You know what I mean? I put the other blog on members only. So basically the information is Vivek has announced that they're trying to do an investigation. You know, the attorney general is trying to do an investigation to find out, you know, whether or not the pardon for Dr. Fauci is valid. You know what I mean? They're trying to like go ahead and do something about that, removing that. So I don't know. And then Donald Trump, they're saying in the news, we're going to get to it, that he's trying to revoke the clearance or whatever that Joe Biden had to get updates or briefings, you know. So I don't know. Well, let's listen to some of this, what's going on. Shout out to Sean Hannity.
He posted the following. Biden set this precedent in 2021 when he instructed the intelligence community to stop the 45th president of the United States, me, from accessing details on national security, a courtesy provided to former presidents. The Her report revealed that Biden suffers from poor memory and even in his prime could not be trusted with sensitive information. I will always protect our national security. Joe, you're fired. Tonight, President Trump is absolutely right. Now, in case you think, oh, this is outrageous. Oh, I can't.
So what do you guys think? You guys think that Joe Biden should continue to get briefings with his obvious decline? You think that would be a smart thing for the United States to continue to give him clearance? I don't think so. Shout out to Peter. I see you in here. Smoke, I see you in here.
Can't believe Donald Trump did this. Okay, let's take a trip down memory lane, shall we? I'm sure the fake news, legacy media mob, state-run as it is not going to show you this headline from the New York Times. We'll remind you, 2021. As you can see right there, Biden bars Trump from receiving intelligence briefings, citing erratic behavior. Anyway, Biden set the precedent in 2021. Joe is obviously in a steep cognitive decline. And frankly, after all we know about what he did, and leveraging $1 billion, Burisma and Hunter's laptop saying that he paid Pops all this money, I think Donald Trump made the right decision. Of course, we would also hate for classified information to end up in Biden's garbage next to his precious Corvette or in a cardboard.
Sean Hannity be smoking on a Biden pack
box. And meanwhile, the Democratic Party is in shambles. Not long ago, they lost the White House, the House, the Senate. And now they are humiliating themselves. I'll admit it's somewhat entertaining in public, and they're doing it daily. A few hours ago, with the cameras rolling, congressional Democrats, look at this. They attempted to storm the Department of Education building in D.C. Now, this performative stunt was supposed to be a protest against that evil monster who's helping to save you money, Elon Musk and Doge. But instead, they spent several minutes harassing a poor security guard at the front door of the building. This is your modern leftist.
Imagine being a security guard trying to make a little bit of money, right? And you're trying to stop people from illegally entering, and then they blast you on national TV. And you got Maxine Waters sitting here trying to bully you in front of everybody. Very interesting. Very interesting.
This extreme radical Democratic Party. Take a good look.
We're coming in. We're coming in. We're coming in. Don't lock the door. We're coming in. Who are you?
Wait, don't this look like January 6th? What y'all doing? Like this? Maxine Waters need to be put on a leash, man. She wilding.
Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
Who are you, sir?
Do you have business here?
Yes. Get out of the way. We pay for your
Get out of the way. What?
Your job. We pay you. This is going to go out in history. The man who blocked the doors of the Department of, hold your face up so they can see you. Department of Education, get a good copy of him. Let him get recorded in history for what he's doing today. Let his children see him. Let his children know that he was standing in the way of all children being educated. Look them in the eye. Come
on. She is a little bully, bro. What is she doing?
Oh, hold your face up. Look at him. Let him see you.
That looked like a threat to me. Oh, everybody in the world, look at this individual. Take a look. Shock, denial, depression, and now we can expect 4 years of irrational rage. Just so we are clear, Democrats, they are embarrassing themselves in a desperate attempt to stop Trump and Elon Musk from protecting your money, auditing the federal government, eliminating massive waste, fraud, and abuse. Tens, likely hundreds of, not millions, billions of your...
Say what you want, Sean Hannity is right. That is insane, bro. They're trying to stop the government from auditing the misappropriation of monies. That's crazy. Elizabeth Warren, all of these people are trying to stop. Like, what is going on in this country? This country is literally insane, bro. And then the crazy part, like, people vote for these people. Like, you're voting for somebody that doesn't want the government to know where your tax money is. You cannot make this up.
Hard-earned tax dollars wasted on foreign countries. We have needs galore in this country. Why aren't we helping Americans out? Why? Because they want to spread the gospel of Green New Dealism, wokeism, transgenderism, DEI, while simultaneously failing spectacularly you, the American people, the average American that makes $66,000 a year. So now Democrats are dead set against any kind of government accountability. And moments ago, President Trump, he just responded in Mar-a-Lago. Take a look.
The Democrats have lost their minds and they've lost their confidence. They have very little confidence. They are different people and they look foolish. Today they tried to break into the Department of Education just because we want to go and check the books. And Maxine Waters is a lunatic, and you know they're all lunatics. Frankly, there's
Yeah. Yo, that's funny.
So it's so sad to see. They should be happy. They shouldn't be sad.
Look at this man. You know, who are you? Get out of my way. Is that how you treat security guards? Keep in mind, the Department of Education was created by Jimmy Carter. It's not that old. And it is a massive failure. We spend more per capita as an industrialized country than any other industrialized country, with the worst results. And under the department, America's education standards have...
One of the problems is all we care about is the Super Bowl. Americans, this is all we care about. We care about the Super Bowl, gladiator sports. It's all we care about. We care about basketball. This is why they're able to get away with this for so long. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Greg said, Joe Biden, you're fired. Marilyn said, nailed it. Little boy said, never leave home without it. What?
Steadily decline. We are failing our children. But apparently Democrats...
No, hey, James, if you want to listen, go to another channel and listen. This is a reaction. You can't just play it all the way through or it gets pulled down. Marilyn said, Trump going to the game. Yeah, I seen that. And he, I think he already did the interview with Brett Baer. That's what I want to hear. You know what I mean? I want to hear him call out everybody in the Brett Baer interview. So shout out to Brett Baer. He's the guy that interviewed Kamala Harris. And Kamala Harris was fumbling the ball. You know what I mean? So shout out to Brett Baer. I do want to hear the interview that he's going to have with her.
Democrats care more about government and big spending and spending abroad than results for we, the American people. Just look at this article from the Washington Post. Headline reads, Trump 2.0, the most dangerous first 2 weeks in presidential history. No hyperbole there. It continues. Trump, his second term, is all about curtailing government's power and reach. I'd say that's great. I'd say that's the most consequential, transformational 2 weeks in presidential history. How do you see things so differently? How do you
Have y'all ever seen anything like this before? Like, being real. Never seen nothing like this before.
How do you juxtapose those interpretations? Anyway, the left, they worship government. like a religion. The last thing you should count on in government. How's government doing protecting your towns and your cities with defund, dismantle? Have they done a good job protecting your border? How's your educational system in your small town or big city? Doing a good job educating your kids? How's that Obamacare thing working out? Keep your doctor plan and save 2,500. No, that's right. Millions lost their doctors, their plans, and we're paying about 300% more. They have corruptly.
Wow. Dang. The way he just put that is crazy.
Border. How's your educational system in your small town or big city? Doing a good job educating your kids? How's that Obamacare thing working out? Keep your doctor plan and save 2,500. No, that's right. Millions lost their doctors, their plans, and we're paying about 300% more. They have corruptly abused your hard-earned money, the money of the American people. They have stolen money from our children and our grandchildren in the process. And of course, many on the left benefited from a pretty extensive.
Shout out to 80s Wave Dude. He said Conservative Perspective sent me here. Shout out to the Conservative Perspective, man. I seen that he like people saying he did a reaction to the video. Shout out to him.
Of gravy train, but thank you, Elon Musk and Doge. USAID was totally exposed. We now know the agency was showering left-wing organizations worldwide with cold, hard cash. Compliments of you, but you didn't know about it because they weren't transparent and they hid it from you. And now USAID appears to be out of business. Today, the signage, it was removed from the building, and Trump plans to cut US.
I like how they call it that though. USAID. It's USAID, but he cracking jokes. Shout out to Daily Living.
AID staff by 97% pending a new lawsuit. In a post on X, Doge announced that U.S. aid is now unburdened by what has been. And buckle up. This is only one agency. This is only the beginning. And this is the beginning of the left and their daily, hourly, minute-by-minute freakout. Elon Musk and his team, frankly, we owe them a debt of gratitude. They're on the case throughout the entire federal government. For example, Doge.
Yo, I heard he saved like almost $100 billion already. He's not even getting paid to do this. Elon Musk has saved the American government about $100 billion. They were just talking about that. That's a lot of money. Like he just in a short period of time just saved him. Like, and we've had these politicians for how long, and they've never been able to do anything like this. That's trouble. That is very troubling. Very troubling.
Just announced that it found a dozen people.
Hit the like button if y'all can. Froggy Meggsy telling y'all to hit the like button. Hit it.
People receiving Social Security. Okay, that sounds. Oh, but they're 150 years old. Government of
Eon commented and said they're all put in the offshore accounts of your senators. I mean, I'm always wondering, like, how are all these senators and Congress people like becoming millionaires? How are even like the Supreme Court justices becoming like multi-millionaires like mad quick? You know, and it's you just don't know. You kind of want to watch and see what everything is. But you know, our media is being controlled by USAID, like sponsoring like media companies, and I was like, why are they so crazy about going after Trump? Did you find out where their money is going? It's like, this is insane, bro.
Efficiency at its best.
So it's like, really, if you want to know what's going on in America, you have to look outside of America. You can't look at our media. You know what I mean? Fox News is like the closest. Shout out to them. Thug Life. You know, but a lot of them, like CNN, you cannot pay attention to them. You know, like they're going to mislead you. The View, like people like that, you can't be. CBS, like those are left leaning. They are anti-Republican channels. It feels like to me.
And in the past 48 hours, thanks to Doge, the Department of Health and Human Services has canceled $182 million in administrative expenses. An exhibit at the NIH Museum.
Exactly. Froggy said Democrats are so corrupt. They want to be hiding the funds.
Really? You got to be kidding. DOJ is also auditing the Consumer Bureau, as well as Medicare and Medicaid, with plans to fully examine the Department of Education, the Pentagon, and according to President Trump, they're going to go through everything. And by the way, they should literally turn over every penny, every nickel before they spend your money. If Democrats were smart, if they were honest, if they were not corrupt, they would cheer for what is happening, what Elon Musk and his team are doing at DOJ. They are returning America to its constitutional order, what our framers and founders envisioned: limited government, greater freedom, eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse. Republicans have lectured us about this for years. Now they have a chance to actually do the job. And by the way, it shouldn't be a partisan issue. We should be good stewards of taxpayer money. The Democratic Party is such a pathetic, self-righteous train. We should be good stewards of taxpayer money.
Is Sean Hannity like clipping them, or is he clipping them?
The Democratic Party is such a pathetic, self-righteous train wreck that they're willing to attack anything and everything that Donald Trump supports, whether it's common sense or not. It's not going to matter. They lost, Trump won, and now the swamp.
That's crazy, though. Like, they're willing to just any little thing he supports, even if it's common sense measures. We don't want to hear it. Like, what?
Is getting drained one way or another. Here with more, Counselor to the President, Alina Habba, as well as Alina. Good to have you.
Good to be here. Thanks.
Well, I don't care if it's Kristi Noem. I don't care, Pam Bondi was on with us last night. Whoever it is, Donald Trump, this is...
Somebody said you voted for him, you must lie in it. What are you talking about? What's wrong with the Trump administration within the past month? You don't like that somebody has gone ahead and fulfilled probably 97% of their campaign promises. The only thing I can see that he hasn't fulfilled yet is the try no taxes on tips. No taxes on tips and no taxes on overtime. That's the only thing. But he's got to save the country a ton of money and cut a lot of bloat so that when he goes to Congress and he presents a package deal or to try to see if he can get those taxes removed, right, they will be more apt to do it. They'd be like, okay, well, we're not spending as much money as we were, and we're probably going to be operating in a positive, not so much of a deficit. Yeah, maybe we can alleviate some of the burden of the taxpayers. You know what I mean? So that's why he's working so fast, because I feel like that's what he's doing, is trying to save the government money, bring money into the government, and so that he can present a plan, which he already presented, but he can present a plan and they can be like, okay, yeah, we good. He's got a trifecta. He got the control of the House, the Senate, and the Congress. It's a possibility he can get all of this passed. And then Pantsu is a member on the channel. Shout out to you. I appreciate you, Pantsu. Appreciate that.
It's been less than 3 weeks of utter shock, awe, and transformation in Washington.
And then Elizabeth Warren, she sounds really silly to me. She's upset that they're trying to stop over government spending. They're trying to figure out who is getting the money from the Treasury Department, and they're figuring out terrorist organizations, some of them, and some people that should not be getting money, they're figuring out getting money. Bro, why are we even paying $30,000 for them to make comic books in another country? That make no sense. $30-something thousand for condoms, you know what I'm saying, in other countries, and paying $40-something thousand for what is it? For another country to have an opera show? What? That's crazy. A lot of this is it's literally insane. So it's easy for Elon Musk to go in there line by line, yo, this is crazy, and present it to the president, yo, this is what's going on. So, I mean, he doesn't just want a forensic audit of the Treasury Department. He kind of wants to see what's going on with the military. He said that he's going to send Elon Musk to look at what's going on in the military. So it's a lot, and he said he feels like it's going to be hundreds of billions of dollars. It's wasted and unnecessary, going into the military. And now look at, what is the dude in Ukraine? He's trying to, the dude that runs Ukraine now, he's trying to come to the table with Trump and try to talk to Trump. Because remember, Joe Biden and all of them kind of had a battery in dude's back. You see what I'm saying? And so, what's his name, Zelensky or something like that, had a battery in his back. He was doing anything and everything that America told him to do. But he wasn't wise enough to see, okay, we got another president that's going to be coming in there. Zelensky wasn't invited to the inauguration. Trump's not like, you know what I mean? Like on some public, I'm going to super support Zelensky. He's not doing that. So now Zelensky is offering like some, like a crazy offer of like some rare minerals or something like that to Trump. Like, you know what I mean? It's like good faith. Like, no, they want like more billions and billions of dollars like of our money. Like, no. Like, this is ridiculous. You and Vladimir Putin need to come to the table, figure out a way to settle this. Like, too many people have died. It's crazy.
Washington, and it has gone at the speed of light. And, thank God for the country. And then you got this freak out. What do you make of it?
I'm not sure what they're freaking out about, to be honest, Sean. I'm pretty sure we stood at rally after rally and said exactly what we were going to, indicated. So, Maxine, I'm not sure what you're stepping into, but you need to move out of the way. And we're going to create Doge. We did. And Doge is working. So I have to tell you, I know Elon, and I'm a little bit frustrated, not a little bit, but by what I'm hearing. But the people that are screaming the loudest, Sean, are probably the people that are pissed off because their money train has come to an end. We're done now. Sorry, Chuck. Sorry, Maxine. Sorry, Nancy, with your stock trades. The show's over. We are now looking, and we're going to audit, and we're going to find out what's going on, and we're finding a lot. We've named them over and over again. And by the way, the list is extensive. Operas for transgender LGBTQ.
Hey, Donovan, go ahead and hit that super chat, and then I'll answer you.
People. We're funding condoms. We're funding, things that are unheard of. One was teaching people how to use their
Hey, Carlos said, I've never seen so many people that are tap dancing for billionaires can have more money. Did you see the tax cut plan that he was presenting to Congress? Did you not see that he was trying to close up tax loopholes for billionaire sports teams owners? Like, did you not see that? That's like everywhere. Did you see that the majority of the plan was for middle-class Americans? Did you see that? Like, because you probably didn't even look at the tax plan to know that. You just get in here and like spewing your propaganda that you've been, indoctrinated to believe from whatever news company that you're paying attention to, probably liberal news. If you would look at the tax plan, and we broke down a lot of things on this channel, if you look at his tax plan, you will know the majority, this will be historic, the biggest tax cuts for the middle class ever. Ever. Be the broke Dems that want you to just answer every question. Super chat if you want me to talk about that.
Pronouns in another country. We spent millions of dollars.
I got 10,000 video views on this video right now. Like, why am I going to sit here and argue with you for free? Aren't you used to getting stuff for free?
This is absurd. We are supposed to take care of taxpayer dollars. And what the last administration did was get rich and waste money. And
why do y'all hate billionaires and millionaires so much? Like, y'all act like y'all create jobs. Hey, John Luoni, when is the last time you created a company? Do you have a company? Do you own a company? Do you have 500 employees? Do they all have insurance? Do they have benefits? Can they afford to pay their rent? Can they afford to pay? I'm just asking. Because who owns those companies that hire all these people that can pay all their bills? It's a lot of millionaires and billionaires. You don't want them people to have some kind of tax break? But then every quarter they gotta, you know what I'm saying? Or every year they doing raises and giving you more and more money, but they're paying more and more in taxes. How does that work? If they're supplying the jobs, being selfless, hiring more and more, that's some jobs that got people that they don't even need. A lot of companies, just to be able to flex and be like, I got this many employees. But a lot of them jobs they don't really need to have. They're employing people. Give them a tax break. What do you think? Even with the tax breaks that they have, they still pay more taxes than you will probably ever pay in your lifetime. So what are you talking about? You even an entertainer. Look at what's her name? Cardi B. She said, when I make $1 million, I have to pay $300,000 in taxes. Have you ever paid $300,000 in taxes? That's just an entertainer. No. Business owners and you don't think Cardi B is a business? You don't think a lot of people working for her? That's like one part, you know what I'm saying? But then now you got to look at manufacturing companies and all of it. You don't think they deserve a tax break? It's crazy.
I'm tired of it. And frankly, I'm grateful for Elon.
Like we should have no jobs. All the red tape. Try to open a business. Try to open up a restaurant. All the Democratic red tape that's out here. Try to open up a restaurant. See how far you get. And then when you start hiring people, you gotta give them insurance. You gotta start open up a business and a real business and see if you can last a year. Well, how many taxes and red tape and all this crap that they got out there? Restrictions and this and that, and you need permits for this and that, and you can't. Imagine, Pantsu with the $5 donation that is a member on the channel said, bro, they say they hate millionaires, but when Trump stops millionaires from money laundering through USAID, they cry about it. It's all hot air. Exactly. Thug life. You get a special thug life. Thug life. They crying about millionaires and billionaires. Well, USAID is sending over celebrities paying Angelina Jolie $2.5 million just to go talk to somebody. I don't think Trump ever did that. It's crazy.
And if anybody wants to say otherwise, I literally advise you to go speak to him yourself.
I got to be honest, you sound really mean and selfish that you don't want to spend $20 million on a Sesame Street show in Iraq. It's pretty mean and selfish of you not to want to spend $56 million.
$23 million on a Sesame Street show? Like, what are you? $2 million to strengthen trans-led organizations to deliver gender-affirming healthcare. $2 million. $45 million for DEI scholarships in Burma. And you want to complain about a tax cut for somebody that is in America hiring Americans. And our government is giving countries our money, and you're complaining about millionaires and billionaires. Elon Musk is a billionaire, and he's doing more in the last month than our government has done in our lifetime and saving us money. Why are you mad at billionaires like him? He's doing it for free. Why are you upset with him? That makes absolutely no sense. Are you doing that job? Are you talking to Treasury officers to try to see where the money's going? Imagine this, thug life. Imagine you you know what I mean? You got a company called Tesla. You got a rocket company. You got all this, and you get millions and billions of dollars, all these investments, all these trips you can take. You can go anywhere you want, but you decide to stop your life to figure out what is going on in this country to save Americans money, and people don't like you for it. Doesn't that sound crazy? You know how many people Elon Musk share this? Somebody share this and put it on Twitter or something. Y'all know how many people Elon Musk employs yearly? It's insane. It's a lot of people. You know Elon Musk can pay these people less money. You know what every Tesla worker Even if you go and like go just look at a Tesla, the people that don't even do nothing, they just let you just test drive. They say they make good money and they got stock options. If the people that build the Teslas can afford the Teslas, the people that work for Mercedes and selling Mercedes, they can't afford them cars. BMWs, they can't. But Elon Musk decides to give people livable wages and help the government, and y'all are mad at millionaires and billionaires. How does this make sense? It's crazy.
Want to spend $20 million on a Sesame Street show in Iraq.
How many millions of dollars on a Sesame Street show in Iraq? And y'all are like excited about that? Y'all don't like, what is this? $520 million for consultant?
It's pretty mean and selfish of you not to want to spend $56 million.
$520 million for consultant driven ESG investments in Africa. We never would have known this if Elon Musk didn't have the Department of Government Efficiency. We never would have known. You know how much money he just saved right there? A lot!
Dollars to boost Egyptian and Tunisian tourism. You know, you sound pretty.
1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplaces. Why do we care about DEI in Serbia? And you wonder why the government don't want to do nothing for you. Because you be arguing against your interest. Yeah, exactly. Shamar J. Yeah, all that for... I see the comment. It's crazy.
Selfish when
they
you don't
be
want to...
so mad like, oh, but a millionaire can't get it. We can't give him a $5 tax break. Meanwhile, this millionaire done paid like probably $1 million in taxes in his business life. They need to pay more. And you sitting around getting a return. They don't get returns. They have to pay. I don't get returns. I have to pay a lot. So like, nah, I don't want to, y'all don't be knowing what y'all be talking. Y'all just don't like, y'all broke and y'all mad. You're mad because they got money. Why don't you like create a Tesla? You know what I mean? Or a Starlink or, you know what I mean? SpaceX. Create it.
Spend $40 million to build schools in Jordan. And
we're spending $40 million to build schools in Jordan. $70,000 for a DEI musical in Ireland. When did you like... When they taking money out of your paycheck, do you be like, yeah, I can't wait for them to spend $70,000 for DEI musicals in Ireland. I can't wait. $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia. Y'all be loving that? But you know what? The Super Bowl's coming! Super Bowl! That's what Americans care about. Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl. Woo. Meanwhile, they're blowing your money. But they got commercials at the Super Bowl! That's why they be getting away with all this stuff, bro.
$11 million to tell the Vietnamese to stop burning brush, and $45 million for DEI scholarships in Burma, and
$32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru.
$220 million for consultant-driven ESG investments in
$6.7 million to protect biodiversity from wildlife crimes in southern Africa. Like, bro.
Africa, or the fact that you don't want to spend money.
44.8 million for food economic assistance for Venezuelan migrants in Colombia. Are y'all going to that musical? We got 38,000 views in here right now. Y'all going to the musical?
Money on electric.
They spending all this money for like Sesame Street shows in different countries. I'm not about to be turning on to that country and watching a Sesame Street. It's crazy.
Vehicles in Vietnam, or a DEI musical in Ireland, or a transgender opera in Colombia, or a
That's crazy. 6 million to the WHO for health coordination and health surveillance activities in Gaza.
transgender comic book in Peru. You sound
30 million for multi-sectoral response in Gaza. Like, what is that?
extraordinarily selfish to me.
439, like what, for a local works consultant in Syria?
Yes.
7.4
yes,
million
I'm selfish. I'm so
to
selfish.
enhance efficient, inclusive, and accountability governance in Northeast Syria. Bro, we spending all this money in Syria? It's crazy, bro.
Selfish, because my selfish needs are America first, and those are in line with President Trump. And
You
Elon
hit 116,000 subscribers. Shout out to everybody.
Musk is in line with President Trump. And by the way, you know, this whole rhetoric with Elon, give me a break. It's no different than anybody else that he's asked to help the country and to take a risk and step away from their fabulous lives that have sacrificed for our country to come in and say, I'm going to pause to help this great nation be great again, and to not have the absolute demise economically, safety. There is so much I've learned, Sean, and I've been with you on this journey since he left in 2020, and I've been honest about everything I've seen. I got to tell you, we needed a fix like you've never seen before, and I am grateful for the administration that we are working with.
I am too.
Every single person is working.
Look at all, it's just rolling and rolling and rolling. 59 million to enable grain and oilseed farmers with a special focus on female farmers in Ukraine. They're spending millions of dollars like it's like cents. Like you'd be like, oh, here's 50 cents. They're like, here's 50 million, 59 million. Meanwhile, they don't want to like help people with like their financial aid in America. Like they don't want to like, you know, forgive student loans and stuff like that. They don't want to forgive student loans. You could defer it, but they don't want to forgive it. Because you know why they can't forgive it? Because they're giving all your money to other countries.
So hard, and we are going to.
But we care about the Super Bowl. Yay! The Super Bowl. Americans.
Fix this nation. He has promises made, promises kept. So anybody that's shocked really should maybe watch a couple rallies from our campaign, because we said exactly what we were going to do. The Americans mandate.
Try talking to somebody like a real life NPC, right? And you walk up to them and be like, hey man, have you heard like all the money that Elon Musk saved America? No. Oh, so who's playing in the Super Bowl? I know that. I know who's playing in the Super Bowl. What time does the Super Bowl start? I know. You know all this about the Super Bowl and the football, but you don't know nothing about your country? No! Who is Vivek? Did you heard that they confirmed Pam Bondi? Who's that? Super Bowl!
Stated it on November 5th in a sweeping mandate, and now we're doing it. And that's, by the way, what we're supposed to do in a republic. That's how it works.
Well, you're anything.
We're doing it. And that's, by the way, what we're supposed to do in a republic. That's how.
And they still rolling all of this money that Elon Musk found. $5 million for a low emission cities alliance to be carried out in China. What in the world is going on, bro? Are y'all like not seeing this? 3.3 million for a program called Being LGBTI in the Caribbean.
We're going to do. The Americans mandated it on November 5th.
18,793 for technical assistance for the LGBTQI community in the 2021 Honduras election. Super Bowl! Super Bowl! Is Kendrick gonna perform? And let me show y'all something, right? Let me show y'all this, right? We talking about this, right? I got like 38,000 views on this, right? But I don't have that a lot of people live watching, right? Let me show you something. Let me move this over. DJ Academics, right? He's talking about pre-Super Bowl show stream. Basically, Kendrick Lamar, will he play Not Like Us? He's got 8,300 people watching it. 8,300 people watching it. See what I'm saying? So when we be thinking like, why don't people care about stuff? Because they don't. Like, Americans only care about archaic sports. And it's sad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and this is why they're able to run game on us and misappropriate our money, because we don't pay attention to anything. Sad to say. Just the truth.
In a sweeping mandate, and now we're doing it. And that's, by the way, what we're supposed to do in a republic. That's how it works.
Well, you're anything.
We're doing it. And that's, by the way, what we're supposed to do in a republic. That's how it works.
Well, you're anything but selfish, by the way. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic, but, you know, when
11 million for a cooperative agreement for U.S.-China energy, clean energy and climate partnership.
we're stealing from our children and grandchildren. I'm
750,000 for Princeton to collect information on racial diversity and equity in the Middle East and North Africa through surveying. DJ Academics has 800 and something thousand subscribers, and they all just wait for him to put posts up like that. And this is no diss to him. He shared me before, so I don't have no problem with DJ Academics. I'm just showing you like the minds, like the numbers. Like if I do a blog about I could show you. I could do a blog about entertainment, right? Like an upload. This is live, right? So if I upload a video like this, it probably get like maybe like a few thousand views. If I upload a entertainment and talk about anything, 5,000 plus views. It's 10, 20,000. You see what I'm saying? It's crazy.
And to see this money being spent.
Why are we giving Princeton 750,000? What do we need to know about like North Africa that bad? Racial diversity and equity in the Middle East and North Africa? Like what? Bro, I could like literally just sit here and do a blog and tie and do more views than I can talk about politics on an upload. Do you know why that is on a lot of like stuff? I mean, I kind of been going viral on TikTok and stuff. I can't be saying that. You know what I mean? But like, for the most part, a lot of social media they don't want y'all knowing this stuff. You know what I mean? I ain't talking about YouTube. Shout out to YouTube. You know what I mean? But a lot of these companies, they don't be wanting y'all knowing this stuff. Like
abroad to advance, you know, what is nothing.
Bro, why did I do a video, right? I can't even say his name. Remember Kennedy, the dude that got right? The guy that's related to him trying to be over the FDA. I can't even say his name. I did a blog on him. It got like 300 views. We was it wasn't a blog. It was like we were live talking about him for like almost 2 hours. It got 300 views. It was stuck. He's shadow banned. And this dude is like telling you what is going on with our food supply. And the president of the United States wants him to be over the FDA, and you still can't talk about him on a lot of platforms because he's shadow banned. Like, that's crazy. I could do a blog. 50 Cent said this about this. It's gonna do a little bit of views. Young Buck said this about this, and this rapper said this, and this battle rapper did this, and this battle rapper did. Bro, 10, 20,000 views, 7,000 views, something. That's crazy. That is crazy, bro. But then you got to look at USAID. They are paying a lot of these news companies to turn a narrative, and there ain't nothing you can do about it.
My blood boil. But if Democrats want to die on this hill, if they want to die on the hill of keeping gang members, cartel members, murderers,
and then like somebody just said, yes, we wasted a lot of money, but if you thinking it's going back in our pockets, you are delusional. But I'm not saying that, right? But I'm saying, why are y'all so happy with our tax money being spent and blown? Right? But it's like a comment like you just said, well, y'all think that if they save all the tax money, it's going back in our pockets. It's not. But you want your tax money to go to Princeton? $750,000. You can't even get into Princeton, dog. Y'all are happy about that? You don't want them to save the government a whole bunch of money and then them to say, okay, we want to give people tax breaks. And then the government can be like, yeah, well, you know, you did save a whole bunch of money. Y'all don't want that? Even if they don't, I will be glad that my tax money is not going to Princeton. Chris Muniz said, you're right. Meaningful content get 301,000 views, but a tortoise eating a watermelon with a flower on its head, 500,000 views. Yeah, bro, I could show y'all. I could do a random video, right? A slug versus a slug, right? And have a camera and everything and set up a race. I guarantee you I'm gonna get way more views than anything politically related. Guarantee. And it may not even be like these companies that control like everything, the algorithms. It might just be the people are just, well, I'd rather watch a slug race. You know?
Rapists and known terrorists want to die on the hill.
This video's got 62,000 views, right? But it's because I'm vertical. And I'm live like this, you know what I'm saying? But if I upload, it's different.
Of keeping gang members, cartel members, murderers, rapists, and known
109.3 million to Deliote Consultants to support the Power Africa program in Nigeria. They need $109.3 million for that. Maryland said they troll us.
Terrorists in the country, let them die there. That's their position. If
Sean, maybe they didn't get the...
They're mad at Elon Musk for this. Yeah, Winston's World said a girl smiling on Instagram gets 100K. Yes. Definitely. Even TikTok, a girl could just be sitting there smiling and do a twirl and get 100,000 likes. Men are simps. Men be simping. Y'all simps. Like, it's just what it is. Y'all be doing it. So it's like, if you the algorithm, what is you going to do? You're going to try to make, you know what I'm saying? You're going to put stuff like that in front of people. That's what they clicking on. Carvin OK said the tax deductions for the richest people in the world. Like, bro, did y'all not just see him closing? Like, bro, have y'all got, Jesus Christ. Have y'all read his tax cuts? Like, did you not read them? Do I have to read them again? Like, did you not see all of the middle class stuff in there? Like, have y'all not seen that? Do you know what middle class means? It means you're not rich. April said, I need to learn how to twirl. Yo, this is crazy. I've seen girls like just put makeup on and get like 1 million views. I'm like, what is this, bruh? It's crazy.
The memo, November 5th, your party got a memo that America is not happy with your policy. They are not good with what you've done to our country. They don't want what you're standing for. They don't want woke. We don't want masks, and we don't want CRT, and we don't want transitions for children that don't even know what color is their favorite color. I am sick and tired of seeing it. And by the way, if they want to keep it going, God bless you. We'll take 2028, and then we'll take it after that in 2012. Listen, keep it going. It's working for us. Yeah. It's not working for them. But America is tired of your whining. Enough.
All right, Alina, thank you. And this is a great moment for the country. This could be the most consequential, transformational presidency, return to constitutional order, and that's our hope. Alina, thank you. All right, here with Reaction, Fox News contributors Jason Chaffetz and Joe
It's like literally crazy. Literally
Concha crazy. And Trump's nominee for U.S. ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, is with us. Let's start with you, Governor. Let's get your take. I can't, for the life of me, Governor, I do a lot of research every day, and I know Joni Ernst was looking for this information, the specifics of the money that is spent, and they wouldn't give it to her. And it's only because of Elon Musk and President Trump that we know this. What are
The White House has released the new budget. Joining us now, Monica Crowley, who is currently with the Treasury Department. Welcome back, Monica. Good to see you.
Hi, Stuart. Nice to be here.
Look, I've seen the Wall Street Journal headline on the budget. It says White House budget hits the safety net. Cuts of 26% to the EPA, cuts to food stamps. Do you see it like that? You've hit the safety net?
Well, when the president entered office, Stuart, he promised to revive the U.S. economy through tremendous economic growth and rebuild America's military capabilities. He is delivering on both of those promises. But the president also understands that Washington's habit of out-of-control spending without consequence has to be stopped before...
It has to be stopped.
It threatens the economic prosperity that we're all enjoying as a direct result of his common sense pro-growth economic policies. So he has proposed a budget that will bring, or at least aims to reduce deficits by $4.6 trillion over the next 10 years and brings the budget into balance over the next 15 years. It also strives to bring our budgets back into historical...
I do like that if you're on Section 8, right? He said you got 2 years. You're not about to be on Section 8 your whole life. You got 2 years to figure it out. I like that.
Averages in terms of the spending that the government is doing, keeps taxes low, and also targets wasteful and unnecessary spending. So the administration believes if you pair that kind of spending restraint, which we really haven't seen, that kind of spending restraint with the kind of pro-growth economic policies that are delivering this booming economy, that will keep the U.S. economy thriving. Of
course, it is a broad outline at this point, and Speaker Pelosi has rejected it already, actually before she even saw it. But let me move on to tax cuts 2.0. Vice President Pence had something to say about that. Roll tape, please.
Oh, they're absolutely coming. I expect we'll be talking about that before this election year is out. It's one of the reasons why we're going to focus so much energy on making sure that not only do we get President Donald Trump 4 more years in this White House, but we're going to make sure that we reelect a Republican Senate and elect a Republican House of Representatives.
That was 4 years ago, though. But let me show y'all. Yeah. Let me do this.
tax cuts, if I could, the House Republicans are floating the idea of a 5-year extension of the Trump tax cuts. President Trump wants it permanent. Would he sign a bill that has just a 5-year extension?
So I'm glad you brought up taxes. Do you mind holding this so I can bring my receipts? I like to bring the receipts. So these are the tax priorities of the Trump administration that the president has laid out for members in that meeting today. No tax on tips, which is obviously a very public campaign promise that the president made. No tax on seniors' Social Security.
No tax on tips. No tax on seniors' Social Security.
No tax on overtime pay.
No tax on overtime pay. Hey, mister, he only doing tax cuts for the rich. Did you hear that? No taxes on tips. No tax on overtime. No taxes on Social Security. Did you hear that?
Renewing President Trump's 2017 middle-class tax cuts.
Renewing Trump's 2017 middle-class tax cuts. Did you hear that?
Again, these are the president's priorities. Adjusting the SALT cap, eliminate all the special tax breaks for billionaire sports team owners.
Oh my God, eliminates all the billionaire tax cuts. It sounds like Trump is only giving tax cuts to the rich. I mean, she's only the White House press secretary. I mean, what does she know? Right? As soon as they do the no taxes on overtime, I'm working overtime. Thug life. I'd be low-key rich if I just worked my regular career and did overtime. You know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause, like what I do for a living or whatever, but it's like, it's not worth doing over. They be asking, I'll be like, no. I'm not about to be working to have all the money go to taxes. Like, I'm not doing it. So imagine that will make people work again.
Close the carried interest tax deduction loophole. Tax cuts for
Close the carried income tax loophole.
Made in America products. This will be the largest tax cut in history for middle.
So, again, all of y'all out here talking about, oh, well, Trump's only going to do tax cuts for the rich. You might want to go look at that video again.
What's your reaction to it? Because I'm angry.
Well, I just think you're wrong about some things, Sean. You said that this could be the most consequential president. I think he already has been in 3 weeks. I've never seen anything like it. I'm going to the emergency room later tonight because I have whiplash from what is happening at the White House. And the fact that they've taken things that have been sacred cows for a long time. Let's look at USAID. Look, I'm the first to admit that there are some things in USAID. PEPFAR, for example, started by George W. Bush, saved millions of lives from AIDS. Good thing. But if you have a stew pot and you've cooked stew in it and it's been good, but then you start putting poison in there, you don't say, well, let's just keep serving because there's some good stuff at the bottom of the pot. You dump it all out. You clean the pot and scrub it good, and you just make stew and nothing but stew. That's what Trump is doing. I think it's the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. I never thought we would cut through some of this red tape and nonsense. But when these things are being discovered, let's let the Democrats go and scream at that guy at the door of the Department of Ed, who, by the way, I think was barred from Buckingham Palace because nobody has ever been so stoic. This guy's got a career wherever he wants to go. It's a great day in America today.
You know, Jason, you are looking as a congressman for this type of reckless spending. And what's so sinister about this is they purposely hid it. They didn't put the specifics of where the money was really going. It was only when Elon got into was able to do that deep dive did we really find out. Because they knew the American people would be outraged by this, but they did it anyway.
Amanda said he also announced he wants to get rid of the IRS and have ERS. Congress would never allow that, though.
Yeah, and look at what the Democrats are fighting for. They just can't give away the American money fast enough overseas. But what about the $36 trillion we're in debt? We spend almost $3 billion a day just servicing that. That's our interest, our daily interest payment. So you want more roads, bridges, infrastructure, all that? Guess what? You're spending $3 billion just trying to pay and service the debt. So they start.
I do want to read that, though. Let me read this. Somebody said, hold up. President Trump cease and desist. The IRS protects middle-class families and small businesses from IRS audits and weaponization. Washington, D.C. President Trump is answering America's fears of the supercharged Internal Revenue Service, IRS, with an executive order halting the hiring of federal employees until his administration determines that it is in the national interest to do so. This includes curtailing the onboarding of tens of thousands of new IRS agents called for by the Democrats in the so-called Inflation Reduction Act. And supporting the President Trump order, Ways and Means Chairman Jason Smith issued the following statement. President Trump's cease and desist order to the IRS is a crucial first step to helping middle-class Americans and small businesses living in fear of 87,000 new IRS agents targeting them with new audits and monitoring their personal transactions. Bro, they are targeting us so that they can get all of our money so that they can give it to Ukraine and everybody else. Democrats have said all along that they will ramp up audits on Americans every year to squeeze as much revenue out of them as possible. A return to historical audit levels as sought by Democrats means 600,000 more families making less than $75,000 would be hit with an IRS audit. Even the Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration revealed that the agency had put zero safeguards in place for low and middle income taxpayers to protect them from audits, despite having had 2 years to do so. So the American people elected President Trump to be that safeguard, and he is stopping this scheme dead in its tracks. So I don't want to hear nothing about Trump. And all y'all Democrats out here just loving the Democrats that is trying, they are coming after y'all. Even the Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration revealed that the agency had put zero safeguards in place for low and middle income taxpayers to protect them from audits, despite having had 2 years to do so. So the American people elected President Trump to be that safeguard, and he is stopping the scheme dead in its tracks. How many times I got to read that? And it's a good thing, too. More invasive audits from the tax collector would be ripe for abuse, given that the agency has been out of control. Not only has the agency been providing political cover for Democrats by delaying and now phasing in an unpopular 1099-K reporting scheme where 90% of the burden falls on taxpayers making less than $200,000 and targets gig workers and small businesses, but activists and the IRS leak sensitive data about political opponents, including President Trump himself. The Biden Justice Department saw only a slap on the wrist as punishment, which would hardly deter future criminal behavior. Y'all remember when they was coming after Hunter Biden? Hunter Biden can't be, you know what I mean? Like, what was it, like $1 million or something like that? He didn't pay taxes on it. They Biden, like, no, Hunter Biden can't abide by the rest of the laws y'all abide by. Oh, the IRS is only for, the common people got to pay up. Congress fought to rescind new funding intended for new auditors at the IRS as part of the Fiscal Responsibility Act. The American people overwhelmingly supported this move and gave President Trump a mandate to end the weaponization of the federal government and to cut the bureaucracy. Now he's taking action. This President Trump signed an executive order freezing hiring in the federal government, especially calling out the IRS. The order reads, within 90 days of the date of this memorandum, the director of the Office of Management and Budget, in consultation with the director of OPM and the administration of the United States Dole Services, that is, Elon Musk and Vivek, said shall submit a plan to reduce the size of the federal government's workforce through efficiency improvements and attrition. Upon assurance of the OMP plan, the memorandum shall expire for all executive departments and agencies, with the exception of the Internal Revenue Service. The memorandum shall remain in effect for the IRS until the Secretary of Treasury, in consultation with the Director of OMB and the Administrator of U.S. SDS determines that it is in the national interest to lift the freeze. October 2024. So this goes back like, bro, like, look, Thug Life. This is recent, but they start going back to October 2024. We don't want to hear that. But say after the IRS already unlawfully delayed Democrats' own 1099K reporting scheme for the 2 years, providing political cover for the administration, they went a step further. The original scheme was scheduled to be implemented in 2023 and would bury gig workers under a mountain of paperwork, with over 90% of the tax burden falling on Americans earning less than $200,000 a year. The IRS eventually announced a new 5,000 threshold, creating a new scale phase, and so the 1099K policy would fully detonate in the middle of President Trump's second term in office. So I don't know. What do y'all think, man? I think Trump's kind of trying to save us in more ways than one when the Democrats are trying to harm us. Jeff Watkins with the $1.99 donation. He said last time Democrats this mad a Lincoln was POTUS.
Throwing around this money, you got to be kidding me. And look, guys like me, I was on the Oversight Committee, I was the chair of the Oversight Committee. They wouldn't give us that information. We asked for that. I fought the USAID for years. They would never cough that up. And for Maxine Waters to show up at the front door and berate a federal public employee, I hope he sues their butt, because there's no right for them to do this.
I think he could like sue them. He actually could. They're bullying and harassing him. This is causing him distress. Everybody knows where he works at now. Like, this is like, you know, imagine like government officials like bullying and harassing you. You know what I mean? Like, that's something that I feel like he should sue over. You know?
Having this she was saying, take a good look at him. Everybody needs to look at him. Well, yeah. Is she threatening him and his family?
I think it's a threat. And there's
somebody has Stockholm syndrome, right? So Prince says an audit can literally get you a higher refund. Audits aren't inherently bad. Hey, are you an IRS agent? He's trying to save that job. Like, bro, you
separation of powers. You can't, as a congressman, go over to the judiciary branch and start walking around saying, hey, where's Clarence? I want to just go check him out. You can't have the executive branch go walk into a member of Congress's office and go say, oh, I want to go meet with the staff. That's not the way it works in this country.
Let me show you something. Dude, just said that. Right? I want you to read this. It's called Stockholm syndrome. Stockholm syndrome describes a psychological condition of a victim who identifies with and empathizes with their captor or abuser and their goals. Let me read that again. The psychological condition of a victim who identifies with and empathizes with their captor or abuser and their goals. So I would say you have, I mean, I can't clinically diagnose you or nothing. I don't have the DSMV book, right? But like what you're saying is like characteristics, like this is like defending the IRS for auditing you. You know what I mean? Like this is like kind of like a Stockholm syndrome type of situation.
Maxine Waters and all of those other Democrats who just think it's funny to berate a guy who's probably got his own family, his own reputation. He doesn't need to be a national figure. Shame on her. That she should be censored by the House of Representatives.
Yeah, she is wild for that. I feel bad for him. Somebody needs to give him $1 million. He held down. And with that lady, like the American lady that went to Pakistan, she was telling them like, give people money, give her money in the pocket. Somebody need to give him $1 million right now. Cash. 20K. You know what I mean? 20K now. Then they need to drop the government. I'm calling on the government. Give him $1 million right now. I want to give it to everybody else. The government. Give him $1 million. And for me saying that, 20K. Right now in my pockets. Shout out to Amanda with the $20 donation. Said, you are quite popular on Black Conservative Patriot and Doc Rich channel. That's how I found your channel. Thank you for bringing humor to the crap going on and how libs, Democrats spin it to the bad and expose government. Shout out to you, Amanda.
There is no shame. She's the one that said, get in their faces, follow them into the store and the shops, etc. Joe Concha, there's a complicit group here, and that is the state-run legacy media mob. And that is, they are feigning all of this outrage. They are, right there.
Let's see what that black conservative talking about. Shout out to him. Shout out to him, bro.
Our CBS poll finds that a majority of Americans, 53%, approve of the job he's doing.
Tax cuts directly for the middle class. Okay, now Democrats are so dumb. They're so stupid that there's no doubt in my mind that they're going to find a way to be opposed to this, right? They're going to find a way to mental gymnastics their way into arguing that taxing the rich in order to fund middle class tax cuts is somehow a bad thing, right? This is a bad thing for the average everyday American. This is what Democrats are going to do.
Issue tax cuts. Trump just issued tax cut proposals to Congress for the middle class. No taxes on tips or overtime. And then he wants to close the loopholes on the billionaires that own sports teams. Further solidify that he ended up working for the American people and not all these rich people. And he just exposed USAID for all of the money that they were wasting. Democrats are never gonna win again. He is completing all of his campaign promises in less than a month. I've never seen nothing like this. How are we gonna get him out of office? What are we gonna do? He exposed USAID and the Treasury Department. They're sending $30,000+ to different countries to make comic books. How can we explain all of this to our friends? It's like every time I feel like he's gonna do something wrong, he does something right. Democrats are never gonna win again if he keeps doing this. This is crazy. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel so we can break this down. We gotta talk about all this. CNN, you tricked me. Yo, that skit is so funny because it's so accurate. That's exactly how they're gonna react. That's the funny part about it. That's the hilarious part. They're gonna try to find a way to make it seem like tax cuts for the middle class, that's bad, right? Cut taxes on overtime, no tax on tips, no tax on, that's bad, right? Taxing the billionaires, bad, right? That's what they're gonna do. That's exactly what they're gonna do. And it's so funny. It's like Democrats, man, their party is 100% lost at this point because they have become 100% lost, I feel like.
A reactionary party. They don't stand for anything except Trump derangement. And when you just stand for Trump derangement, it puts you in very awkward political positions, right? The Democrats are going to look real awkward when they come out here and they start raging against these tax cuts. They'll say that the tax cuts are for the rich, right? This is what they'll say. But when people see that, oh, wait, no, Trump is trying to get rid of taxes on overtime, taxes on tips. Like, these are not tax cuts for the rich. These are actually tax cuts for the middle class. And I believe personally that if Trump can make these tax cuts happen for the middle class, significant tax cuts, while also at the same time, taxing the rich, that's probably a win, right? That's a win with Main Street. That is a win with Main Street. Now, again, I'm not one of these tax the rich type of people, right? But I'm just saying, if you're going to do it, hey, at the very least, do it to give a tax cut to the middle class, right? Because if you give a tax cut to the middle class, then that helps.
Policy said you do realize that oftentimes oligarchies start when the taxes on the income of the rich are completely removed, right? You know, y'all know what's crazy about income taxes? Like, income taxes was only supposed to be for the rich. That's the crazy part. And then now look who pays income taxes. We won. We won that. So when Kamala Harris was talking about she wants to give rich people that make over 100 million unrealized capital gains tax, in my mind, I'm thinking like, yeah, you might do that. That's like if you can make money, but you don't sell your asset or whatever, but you can make money, then they can come after you, right? In the stock market or whatever. Eventually that would go to like property and real estate and stuff like that. And then eventually, guess who's going to probably win that one too? Well, your house is worth so much. They already like raise your property taxes. You know what I mean? When they do a reappraisal or a property tax increase, your property tax, they got ways to like raise your, like, you know what I mean? How much you pay, like, you know what I mean? Even if you own the house. Imagine if that starts trickling down. Well, your house then went up 100, because my house I bought like 5-6 years ago. It went up like 100 and some, almost 200,000, like in like 5 years, right? So that would mean, like, if they start trickling down all of that, they could be like, oh, well, we're doing a unrealized gain tax on you. You know what I'm saying? And just do anything. Like, you cannot trust the government. Obviously, Vivek and Elon Musk is showing you now you cannot trust the government with spending, right? You can't trust them with spending. They're giving all your money overseas. They're giving it to their cronies. They're doing all of that, right? Why do you want to put the government in control of more things? Like, why do you want to allow them to put more laws and rules like on people? You know what I mean? Like, you know, like, come on, bro. Like, we need to just chill out with this whole taxing the rich, because eventually they're going to tax us. You know what I mean? It's going to trickle down.
Helps out the middle class directly. And who knows? It'll trickle up, right? It'll trickle back up anyways, right? That's what it'll do. And that's what Democrats see. That is what Democrats promise that they would do, but they never do it, right? They never end up taxing the rich, okay? They end up taxing the middle class and the poor, which they did through inflation. So again, you know, you have President Trump, once again, playing politics with the Democrats, playing 5D chess. And I cannot wait till we actually start having this conversation about.
He gets it. He understands. Like, shout out to him.
With the Democrats and trying to demonize Elon Musk, who I think has done the country a great service, as well. Democrats and trying to demonize Elon Musk, who I think has done the country a great service, as well as the president.
In our resistance legacy media, Sean, every day is now Festivus.
Berating a security guard. Yelling at him.
Every day in the pages of the Washington Post, the New York Times, CNN, MSNBC, CBS, NBC, ABC, every day in the Trump 2.0 era is an unhinged airing.
But shout out to Amanda for that donation. I appreciate you. She said $20. Amanda must be a Republican. She got that bread. She said, you are quite popular on Black Conservative Patriot. Appreciate you.
Of grievances. It's a Festivus, just not for the rest of us. And to your point, they have no positive message. They don't have any objectivity in terms of the way that they're reporting this stuff. They go after Elon Musk and they try to character assassinate him, but nobody's talking about, you know, the stuff that Elon Musk is finding. That's the story.
All right, you want me to turn off Fox News? All right, let me show you some CNN stuff, right? You Mr. Free Comment. Let's see if I can. Let's see. No, we're not gonna do that, but we're gonna listen to some different perspectives. Though. Shout out to you, but let's listen to what Dvorak Darkins is saying. Shout out to Dvorak Darkins.
Now in this video.
Yeah, hold up.
53% approve of the job he's doing. That's a better approval number than he ever reached during his first term in the White House. Joining us with more is our Executive Director of Elections and Surveys, Anthony Salvanto. Good to see you.
Melissa said Benny Johnson just dropped a Trump commercial just now. Nice.
Anthony, what's driving this?
I will keep it simple, Margaret. He's doing, in the eyes of the public, what he said he would do in the campaign. There's political value in that. In fact, 70% of people say he's doing what he promised. That's whether they approve of him or not. Now, there's another part of this that continues over from the campaign. There were words that he was described as being tough, being energetic, and he still is.
Is that the commercial he dropped, like, talking about his own, like, when they attempted to assassinate him?
Day in big majority numbers. So as people take a look in these first few weeks.
Junior C said, I knew I won something. I wasn't sure until now.
There's been a lot of activity. They're getting that general sense of governance, and that's being reflected in these early numbers.
So that's perception. What about the actual?
But let's see. Hold up. I want to see this commercial. Y'all want to see this commercial? I'll edit it out. Like,
the jackals, hyenas.
Oh, they got music playing in there. I don't know if I can play this though. Hold up.
Terry was actually.
Yeah, he got that music playing. I can't play that.
Policies.
Well, let's start with the ones that are popular. And again, these echo a lot of what we saw in the campaign. The idea of deporting those in the country illegally continues to be popular. We saw that in the campaign. Sending troops to the U.S.-Mexico border, again, majority in favor. We'd seen that in the campaign. For his supporters in particular, the focus on ending DEI is popular. We had seen in the campaign, a lot of them thought those processes had gone too far.
All right, so what does the CBS poll tell us, and why is it a nightmare for the Democratic Party? Well, one, all these protests that you were seeing erupt around the nation in regards to deporting illegal aliens, clearly that's not the actual story. The reality is 60% of Americans believe that we should be deporting illegal immigrants, okay? And the second number that is truly a nightmare, clearly 70% of Americans, and now we're talking Republicans, Democrats, and independents, believe that he's doing exactly what they expected him to do. And obviously the final one is the approval rating, which for someone who they call Hitler and someone who's going to destroy the Constitution and our democracy, it's funny that majority of American people approve of what he's doing. And I believe part of that is because we all know that President Trump has trust in what Elon Musk is doing, no matter how many times the media tries to question him on that. Take a look.
I ran on this, and the people want me to find it. And I've had a great help with Elon Musk, who's been terrific.
Bottom line, you say you trust him.
Trust Elon? Oh, he's not gaining anything. In fact, I wonder how he can devote the time to it. He's so into it.
So he's not gaining anything.
But I told him do that. Then I'm going to tell him very soon, like maybe in 24 hours, to go check the Department of Education. He's going to find the same thing. Then I'm going to go to the military. Let's check the military. We're going to find billions, hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud and abuse. And, you know, the people elected me on that.
Now, me and you know that is the truth. This is what people want, but it doesn't matter because the Democrats, they're stubborn. They are digging this hole even deeper because now a new talking memo has gone out. And the new buzzword is constitutional crisis. That's exactly what President Trump and Elon Musk is doing to our great country, according to these Democrats. Let me show you an example of that. Here's Congressman Chris Murphy explaining this.
You have used incredibly strong language, a constitutional crisis, grossly unconstitutional, pretty alarming language.
Yeah, listen, I think this is the most serious constitutional crisis the country has faced. Certainly since Watergate, the president is attempting to seize control of power and for corrupt purposes. The president wants to be able to decide how and where money is spent so that he can reward his political friends, he can punish his political enemies. That is the evisceration of democracy. You stand that next to the wholesale endorsement of political violence with the pardons given to every single January 6th rider, including the most violent who beat police officers over the head with baseball bats. And you can see what he's trying to do here. He is trying to crush his opposition by making them afraid of losing federal funding, by making them
You said, what do I think about him dismantling unions? I don't know. Like a lot of unions actually like Trump. Like a lot of people in Ohio that have unions, like they rock with Trump. They like Trump. So I don't know. Like I think the unions, didn't they have a problem? Like they were trying to shut down the peers and stuff like that when Biden was in office, and he didn't say anything until the collective bargaining agreement was done. So I don't know, man. Like unions, there's positives and negatives with unions. A lot of companies are trying to get away from like union ran like places. Like I used to work for a union when I worked in Cleveland, Ohio. You know, I worked at a factory or whatever. It was a union factory years ago when I was young. And, you know, they extort you for union dues. And then you start finding out that they're best friends with the people that own the companies. You know, and they're all in cahoots. And then the person that runs a union normally has a big, massive mansion and, you know what I mean, nice cars and everything. And they're just collecting them union dues, and they give you little small incremental things that most jobs just give you anyway, like raises and stuff. There are sometimes like, you know, unions do like really push for people to have like higher wages depending on what's going on. But, you know, that does happen. But for the most part, like when I was in a union, like I didn't really see, like you're forced to go to like union hall meetings, and, you know, you look at your check, you look how much you're paying them for union dues, and then you look at the raise. And then when you really factor in what you're paying for union dues, and then you look at your raise, it's like, I could kind of do without the union. You know, job security and protection. I mean, it depends, man. It depends. Somebody said I work at a union job, and you are right. Like I just didn't. And then like the bad thing about unions too, like you have to know somebody to get hired. Like that's something that people don't tell you about unions. People think like, oh, just anybody can just work at the job. Like you got to deal with nepotism. Do you know what that means? You see what I'm saying? So somebody may be working at the company, and they find out there's like a job opening. Maybe somebody passes away, maybe somebody retires, maybe somebody just moves and goes to another job and moves to a different state. There's a job opening, right? And that job may pay like a pretty decent wage, but then like instead of somebody just coming in off of the street getting the job, they, you know what I mean, they talk to the people in the union, they talk to put in a good word, and then their friend gets the job. So like a person off the street don't even really be getting a job. So like how controlled some of them unions are is like ridiculous, you know? So I don't know. It depends. Jason said collective bargaining has its power. It does, but the market does as well. A lot of time, like GM, man, like you can't like you can have collective bargaining, but then like a company can choose, all right, we don't want to deal with no unions no more. You coming into our company and telling us what to do. And you seen with GM, like that unions will bleed a company dry. That's why a lot of people just choose to move to areas where they don't have unions. And then you know, it's performance based. Like in Nashville, Tennessee, if you work somewhere, it's performance based. You know, you do what you're supposed to do, you get raises and you do all that. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, you get fired. Some people who work in unions really need to be fired. That's like another thing. Like I would never forget, like people just taking like mad long breaks, like a smoke break every once in a while, and you doing like extra work because you don't smoke, but then them people never get fired. You know, so it's like, but you know, if you work in a place like that, you know, and let's say Nashville, Tennessee, is kind of more fair. It's performance based. Hey, you ain't doing your job, you get fired. That's what it is. Like, you know, unions, sometimes they be protecting the wrong people. Sometimes, like, it just depends. But collective bargaining can work, you know, but the consumer is the one that normally ends up losing in the end, like with collective bargaining and stuff like that, right? Because they want more money, you know, or they're all gonna just like go on strike and not work. And then like sometimes you might not even want to go on strike. You be like, I don't want to go on strike. I got bills. I ain't trying to be doing all this, but you gotta like do it because the union is doing it. You see what I'm saying? So it's like all kind of things, bro. You know, and then like, let's just say they do raise You know what I mean? Like your wages and stuff, which is cool for you, but then the company's not going to sit there and lose money. They may be like a publicly traded company. They got investors to worry about, you know, and like CFOs and CEOs like trying to figure out like how to lower wages and stuff like that. So if they got they're just going to raise the cost of everything so they don't lose any money. So the general consumer ends up losing because the union workers want to make more money. Ain't nothing wrong with wanting to make more money, but there's a cause and effect with everything. You know what I mean? It's a reality of it.
Afraid of physical violence. And so, yes, this is a red alert moment when this entire country has to understand that our democracy is at risk. And for what? The billionaire takeover of...
Yeah, the market dictates the price with different things, right? So, I mean, you know, with different things. But if you got a union that's trying to, like, squeeze more benefits, squeeze more money, you know what I mean? Like, where's the money going to come from? You have to raise the price. You're going to have a market to where like some people may have a competing product that may be a little cheaper, you know, but you just have to like, hey, is what you going to do? You're going to lower the price to really like super compete, but then like you keep going in the red because you have to supply like what the union wanted for all of these people. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, it depends. Like it's all dependent, but yeah, it's a free market.
Yeah, so what I find funny is that they always forget what happened over the past 4 years, right? How the media...
somebody said, yes, protect the stockholders. They are more important than the workers. Hey, do y'all invest money? I'm asking like a real question, and I'm not trying to be funny. If you invest money in the stock market, you know how everything works. You don't care about like what an employee is talking about. You want to make sure you're getting more money. You want to make sure you're getting good dividends, depending on if you're in a dividend stock, like what the yield is and all. You want to make sure everything's coming in good. Or if you're in like a just, you know what I mean, like a regular stock, it may not have dividends or yields. You don't want to hear, I just invested $10,000. My $10,000 is worth $5,000 because the company keep losing money because they got these unions bleeding them dry. You don't want to hear that. You are an investor, right? You want to hear that $10,000 turned into $12,000 or that $10,000 turned into $15,000. Like that's what you want to hear. And if it doesn't, then you start losing money and this becomes like a normal thing for the company. You stop investing in the company. The company has less capital to work with. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, we care about the workers because the workers are putting the product out. But at the end of the day, the cheaper the worker, the more money the company has. What it is. And I think what people need to do is to get into the mind state to invest, because it's not just, you're not just throwing money at companies. These companies are becoming part of you. Like you start owning some of these companies, right? So when I'm investing in whatever company, if it's Tesla, whatever it is, I'm part owner of that company. I got shares. What's going on with this company? At all of these meetings, I want to hear y'all are making money. This ain't no hand-me-out company. Like, where is the money at? And if y'all losing money, that CEO better start lowering his salary. All these, like, these heads better start cutting their wages or something. Because we ain't about to keep losing money. That's how you got to think. You start thinking like that when you invest. If you don't invest, you don't think like that.
The White House press corps, Democrats clearly covered up what happened with Joe Biden. We know that. And to make matters worse, when he was going out the door, he preemptively pardoned his entire family and not only commuted the sentences of 37 convicted murderers. But hey, we don't want to talk about that, right? Now, here is Speaker Mike Johnson and what he has to say about what's really going on here.
Every country around the world recognizes America is the last great superpower. We are the good guys.
Somebody said, oh, the people that lost money will be pulling their money out of the stock market to survive. There's a lot of jobs they can get. Get a job. Get something else. Sometimes you got to get out of your comfort zone. Do something else. Like I lost like jobs before I got new ones. Y'all be acting like one job is the only job in the world. Like just do something else.
We are the biggest humanitarians on the planet, the most benevolent nation that has ever been in history, and we do some good things, and that in USAID.
Somebody's like, when them tariffs hit, let me talk to you about tariffs. Thug life. So when he was about to put tariffs on Colombia for not accepting them prisoners, was you about to pay for Colombian coffee, or were you just going to drink Folgers? How much did the tariffs really, would they really affect you? How much stuff do you buy from Colombia? It's a market, right? So if Colombia coffee went up 25% and you got to pay like 25%, a 25-cent extra, whatever it is, you probably going to go with Folgers. Depending on what your budget is. If you got like a more lenient budget, you get what you want. If you're getting something, how many things you buy from Mexico? If you're getting something from Mexico and they got a tariff on it, you buy whatever is made in the United States, you get that instead. You know what I'm saying? Or like maybe it's cheaper in China, you get that. If they put tariffs on China, maybe just look somewhere else. What are the products coming in from Taiwan at? It's a market. And that's why when he's talking about putting tariffs on Canada, what are them Canadian companies doing right now? They said, we're going to America. We're going to start putting our businesses in America. Why are they saying that? Because America is big customers. So avoid them tariffs. You just build a factory in America.
I am comforted to know that Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, and folks are actually sitting down line by line and going through, eliminating the abuses of taxpayer dollars and defining and protecting the things that are certainly in America's interest and are the right thing to do, as you said. So we'll get this sorted out, but I think that effort is long overdue. And when Congress has been requesting oversight of these dollars for years now, it's been hidden from us, the persons who are given the constitutional responsibility of oversight. So having an independent audit again, having access to the files to dig this stuff out is a good thing for the country, and we support it.
All right, so just a few things here. Number one, the reason